Welcome back, everybody. This is almost basically the last time we will say hello to you again this weekend because I'm Bear Bryant, joined by Sam Tate, and that's right, it's finals time. It is time to figure out, just as you just had that wonderful conversation with Kevin and his newest champ card that will be added to the fray. Here is our journey of the finals, all the way to get to George Rangel versus Chris Minor, all the way at the end.
The only Nagoriyuki
Yes.
versus the most represented character.
And the most converted.
Yep.
And Chris Minor has already eliminated the other two.
And exactly, that was going to be
Yes.
my next point is he has already gone through this gauntlet of Godzilla. Did he play every Godzilla in Top Cuts, actually?
Correct.
Yes, he's played every single one. So he has to be confident in this matchup. But at the same time, the story would tell you that Nagoriyuki is the underdog.
Yes.
And I think the thing that I'm most excited about, Barrett, is we're guaranteed a brand new champion.
Absolutely.
Neither of these players have been a champion before. I think, did we even have a previous champion in the top 16, actually? Ryan Field has been a team's champion.
Correct.
But none of these players.
Johnson was the only
Jacob Johnson. He was the only one with a character card, and he got eliminated in top 16. So for a while now, we've known that we were going to have a brand new member of what I like to call the UniVersus Pantheon.
I like that.
I like that too. But the finalist is going to get this beautiful playmat. Luke Sullivan, gym coach, Donatello, Kai Kisuke, Percival. I'm not saying the whole name on that one.
Okay.
And Levi Ackerman, Chromes. Absolutely beautiful. Love the gold and the silver treatment. Love the way the colors pop on the Ninja Turtles. But the champion is going to get Aaron Yeager, Jester Lavore, Ryu, World Warrior, Leonardo the Leader, and Soul Bad Guy, all the protagonists, because you yourself will become the main character in UniVersus with your own champ card and a plaque and a playmat, of course, to commemorate that.
This is what they're playing for. Of course, both these players have locked in that finalist reward just by sitting in the chairs that they are in. But just like you said, this is the ultimate prize in card games that they are going for. I never like to jinx anything, of course, or I don't pick any favorites going into the finals. But I did ask each of them, have you already maybe started thinking, maybe getting their heads a little bit? Have you thought what your character might do?
Oh, you can't.
And,
superstitious. I'm superstitious. You
can't.
Not
asked both of them. So,
yeah.
Of course, they have not. That's not what they are focusing on. They are focusing on the match that is happening right soon. But, of course, we will do our final shout-out of the Godzilla Reign of Kaiju set that, yes, currently as we are speaking, the super pre-release is happening on Sunday here at Worlds. You can type in !Kaiju pre-release for more info. Of course, the actual pre-release for most stores or for stores across the country and the world will be next week on March 6th, and the actual release of the set on March 13th.
And
yes.
And this set has some of the most beautiful cards we have ever been blessed with in UniVersus. Mothra, Divine Mothra. I just saw someone open that. I believe it was Marvin Emery opened a Chrome Mothra here at the event. So if you're not at Worlds, you're missing out.
And Godzilla, Titan of Terra, one of my favorite characters from the set. Just being able to play a 5 difficulty card for free.
For free?
For free. Incredible power, of course, and that is why he might even usurp the Godzilla of old. But speaking of the Godzilla of old, it is also the Godzilla of now.
Correct.
George Rangel, Swiss champ after yesterday, completely winning out and just drawing with Carson at the end. First seed coming into this top 16, making all the way now to the finals. Guaranteed to go first in game 1.
Mm-hmm. Typically pretty important in these aggro mirrors.
Pretty big.
It's not that surprising to me that our grand finals is a 6-hand size that adds a bunch of damage versus a 6-hand size that adds a bunch of damage. And I think what's really cool is we've looked at the deck list a bit before in the stream. Godzilla adding bonuses to checks. Nagoriyuki's just playing really low difficulty moves.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's the big thing that Bromley and I have always been talking about. He got to come and take quite a bit of Nago. That's the thing is, right, both of these characters give a lot of damage, but Godzilla is limited in the card types, right? But I cannot say enough about Chris Minor, right? Not only has he had to eliminate these Godzillas, but both Ryan K and Carson Panos that he already faced yesterday, he had to go against them again today and settle the score and prove himself and to everyone else watching why he deserves to be in this finals.
Yeah, and I mean, he defeated all of the best defensive characters in our game, basically, with Rodan and the Izuku Midoriyas falling to the wayside, and now he's proven he can beat the aggro decks as well today. So it's going to come down to one final match. One final time, we're going to take a look at these deck lists, what we're calling the sauceless Godzilla, maybe the best Godzilla we've ever seen, and all of these cards have worked beautifully. When we say sauceless, that is not a dig at all. That is recognizing what is the best cards to put in Godzilla, not getting distracted by, plays I like to do.
And I think it led even to the similar success about why George did so well in Atlanta, getting second place with Porco Correct. It was not sauceless in the sense of
the Porco deck had a lot of sauce, actually.
Yes, but lots of 4-ofs and playing the good ones.
Correct.
Meanwhile, over here on Chris's deck, also playing a lot of copies of the good ones, but some cheeky answers and cards in the format that only really the order symbol has access to, and this deck is very well tailored for this matchup.
Yeah, the biggest thing is we've seen the board wipe get basically countered by Fierce Wings, one of the strongest action responses that we don't see that often. If one of your foundations are committed or destroyed by a rival effect, which a Walk the Dog Godzilla deck is looking to do all the time, Fierce Wings can then respawn from the hand, and you can build a non-unique foundation from your discard pile. And we've already seen Chris double Fierce Wings respond to the once per game ability to then basically say, well, you wanted to go first, but I actually went first.
Yeah. And in this similar situation, again, George going to be able to go first here, but we've seen Chris Miner break serve time and time again in this tournament, even against Ryan Kogod, a 2-0 victory, having to go second, of course, in that second game. And we, of course, for you to win a match in UniVersus, when you're not going first in game one, you have to be able to break serve no matter what. And that is the epitome of our game, right? And, I don't want to, talk too much about the going first, going second kind of conversation, because the reality is that
it hasn't been that important.
It
today.
hasn't. And you go into a tournament like this because you know that your deck has to win on both sides of the coin.
Yeah, I mean, we saw George lose game one earlier in the tournament, but then get the reverse sweep anyway. So the higher seed advantage has not been a guarantee in each of these games. But we do see a very nice build from George coming up first. He's got 3 foundations and that military airship.
Yeah, can't ask for anything really better than that, especially going first without that partial mulligan. But fighting for control, we've talked about this card quite a bit against this Godzilla deck, because not only are we playing that one of spicy Coenmus has, but fighting for control on something like a City Rampage can mean getting more resources committed out of George. But a build 5 is going to feel really good going into this game one.
And I love that Chris has essentially recognize, right, that my character is not so necessary for defensive turns. So on build turns, he can be more greedy. He can play higher difficulty cards than your average aggro deck. A lot of aggro decks not playing 4 difficulty foundations, playing more spam. We're seeing Chris play these 2 diff foundations with better techs because the character is just now an extra resource. He doesn't have to rely on it to play defense.
There's a City Rampage kicking things off for George. Checks a 3, and Chris has a decision here.
You can fighting for control this to make it a 1. However, the turn doesn't end. So I personally, Barrett, I've always believed you don't check hack with the clause. Obviously, Mark Tyner is different.
Yeah.
But when the failing the check doesn't end the combat phase, you only hack good checks.
I like that, and especially
unless it's life or death, and them failing means they can't attack you anymore.
Yeah. I agree with this. I like this play here, and Chris said, no, I'm going to hold it, because now it means if something like another bad check comes through with an attack card being played, you still have it. On a 5-6.
Oh, and here we see it.
And here is an opportunity where you could actually just force this card to fail.
Exactly.
There it is. Forces it to fail, which means the turn doesn't end, like you said, but denying a Vast Hybrid Chimera Kraken for the board control is pretty big.
For a 2-4 flip? Come on.
And there's no follow-up.
Amazing.
Wow. Already an explosive game coming into this finals, and decisions and the repercussions and choices that are made.
I truly believe that George thought he was going to hack the City Rampage check. Whether it was a 5 or a 3, I thought he was really going to fight through that fighting for control. And obviously, you don't expect to check back-to-back 3s. They were back-to-back determined advance, too. So a little unlucky for George there, but it's not over yet.
No,
We're
not
both
even
still
close.
full health. It's only the beginning of the game.
Building
Blood-sucking universe coming down
building
here.
a finally freeze and Pastor Walls, I think, are very, very good. So, but a blood-sucking universe coming in here is the first attack here on Chris's side. Also checking poorly. We've seen Chris actually check quite a few threes across this entire tournament.
Yeah, both decks kind of built to check bad and fight through it. But with the added pressure of that fighting for control, Chris has come out ahead. So finally awake, going to add us a momentum. But we're looking at a 9 damage throw and the Roman cancel token. The Roman cancel being a really strong defensive piece. And especially now that we know at least 2 determined advance are in the discard pile, that's one of the best attacks that can't truly be countered by the Roman cancel defensive ability. So Chris has got to feel really good about having 2 momentum and a Roman cancel going into George's next turn.
9 straight to the face, and we even are starting to use these don't do this pretty aggressively, and this explains why. Walk the dog,
second attack of the game, another stun coming down, getting the pass-through walls committed, going to be able to draw a card, and this is for at least 10 damage.
Yeah, the question is, does George start using this 1 momentum that we've generated defensively for +2 to the check to block? Because, again, another 10 damage move.
My real question here is, depending on the aggression that we have coming up, we could powerful with that Roman cancel token, or if we can't deal 25, the freeze mode could be kind of a big deal here. Freezing something like pass-through walls could come up huge later on if we have a breaker block or if we have an asset that we want to build.
Absolutely. Of course,
or even just deny 1 resource, right?
Another 10 damage, down to 15 for George.
Everything's coming up Chris now. He's got the momentum. There's the Thunder Spear barrage. We don't do this anymore. Our rival is committed out. However, if we check a 3 on the echoed mode, we'd have to commit Nagoriyuki, and that's a lot of damage we'd be missing. We would then be forced to reduce the speed and make this very blockable. And because we have military airship, if George blocks the first one, we pretty much know we're going to block the second one.
Yeah, I mean, the only fear then is because of the modal stats adjustments that you can choose. As
we're full sending it.
Full sending it here for a 10 damage Thunder Spear barrage.
Yeah, we're looking for the zone check here. If George doesn't have a high block, he's going to be taking at least 5 on a partial, and that military airship becomes a little less effective, but double partial would keep us alive.
1 high for 10.
A breaker effect would also keep us alive, but I don't think George has one from hand. I think it's only Inspiring Song.
I think that's pretty huge for Chris, getting that momentum used no matter what.
Yeah, using the momentum on Godzilla before it gets committed by Nagoriyuki, because the Fukio added 3 speed back, gave us the 3rd counter. Now the Nagoriyuki, or maybe I got the order wrong, but you know, the Nagoriyuki plus the Fukio getting us to 4 counters, only a partial. And Godzilla's committed now.
Down to 10. The echoed copy, as long as Nago is upright, will be on a 4/5.
Yep, that's enough.
The question is, if there's a low block in George's hand, this is just lethal.
Well, no, because we have the airship. We can partial again.
Right. I'm so sorry. You're right.
The question was if we have to full send this.
But maybe there's a world where is a misplay by Chris. We could have committed the airship
instead of Godzilla.
Yeah, it's any card in the stage, but there it is going down to 5. This does flip. Is there another move that we could pass? You'd have to check a 6, and as we know, Chris doesn't actually play any 6 checks, and like you said, we need Nago face up.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely correct, partner. I think not committing the military airship after the momentum got spent is definitely a mistake here, but it might not hurt Chris. He's still got a decent amount of health, but we did just lose 10.
Yeah, we did 10 damage to ourselves. You denied the airship for offense here on George, and also got rid of that momentum that George was obviously hoping to have on their offensive turn, but it's up to George's grip here now, surviving at 5.
And no review, so we'll never know what that card in his hand was. If it was a low block, if it was a walk the dog or a smashing stomp, Chris could have won by committing the asset. However, now we've committed enough foundations that George can play his own walk the dog, 6 low for 9 as an opener, stun 1, draw card. I mean, You don't get to start with Walk the Dog very often, but when you do, it feels amazing.
Absolutely. The epitome of the backswing because of the overcommittal here from Chris. I mean, I really want to know that by the end of this game, whether that last card in George's hand was a low block, because if it was, this could have been decided immediately on Chris's turn 2. But here we are, George on turn 3, after basically getting completely thwarted in his turn 2. He has a real opportunity here to take this game.
Yeah, we're taking 9 to the face.
Down to 13.
A smashing stomp checks a 6. He's him.
Yes, it's just
he's built different.
And this one can draw us a card. So even if you don't think there's another attack in George's hand, we have an opportunity to get one. Monster aggression, giving a 1/1.
Love to see it. All right, this one's up to 10 damage. Gonna attempt to block with imprisoned.
Checks
a 4. Not enough. We're gonna respond. We can draw a card.
Needs an attack card, and he's shaking his head. George didn't get what he was looking for.
Not loving it.
Wow.
Not loving it.
Razor thin.
Drew a card on both attacks.
Yeah.
He drew 2 attacks that draw cards. That's heartbreaking.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And here it is again. It's back to Chris Minor. And if there's one thing, I'm going to say it, one of the key successes to this deck is Blood-Sucking UniVersus.
Chris is not reviewing. We see a big fist bash in his hand already. That means that we have another mid-attack. We actually have 3 attacks.
That's true.
Even with 2 momentum, and I believe 2 in hand or 3 in hand from George. This is going to be really difficult.
Inventor's Creation.
We could see a throw here.
We can make it a throw, but you can even give it Echo first. Yes,
correct. Echo is the correct sequencing, yes.
And then we can pay for the Echo with that Blood-Sucking UniVersus that's in our momentum to make sure that the second copy of this, asking for the perfect block from George, and then still saying, hey, I'm going to put you to 1 because of the throw.
Yeah. Well, okay, because the Inventors is only 4 damage, right?
Yes.
Blood-Sucking is 5. Yeah.
But demands
right.
blocks for the first 2
correct.
off of 1 attack card.
Yeah, we're gonna need a low block here. If we partial and then take a throw, that's not going to be enough. We've seen George use the defensive inspiring song to hack the rival check all throughout the top cuts. It's been working out pretty good for him, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here with just a 4 difficulty move that's about to be echoed.
Ooh, this is checking a 3 though, pretty devastating. But also, this is
we're going for the double check hack.
The Echo into a throw is just game, even through all the check hacks.
-3 to a check. If we check a 0, we're still going to pass this. He's going to flip it.
With the flip.
You got to try.
It's just on a 4. Commit 4 resources.
However, did you see if we discarded the Blood-Sucking? I assume we have one.
Or we have one, right? Yeah. There it is. Commits 4 pieces.
Because we weren't milling with 1-man Inferno.
Yeah. Checks. Show us the Blood-Sucking. There it is. Give it throw. Game 1. Breaking serve for Chris Minor.
Turn 3? Was that turn 3?
His turn 3, yes.
Turn 3. You love to see it. Absolutely bare knuckle, white knuckle, I guess I should say. White knuckle, fast-paced action here. And you can see it on both players' faces. They both realize that their luck probably wasn't quite as good as they wanted it to be. And, I would love to know after the game, regardless of who wins, if Chris, recognizes that military airship play or what was going through his head, because we don't have all the details. There might have been a reason why airship was not the call no matter what. But I would love to get the deep analysis from the players in the seat themselves, because if George tells me that he was holding a low and he was praying that airship didn't get committed and he still couldn't pull it off, he still wasn't gifted with a backswing, that's got to be pretty maddening if I'm being honest. So once again, we've seen George lose game 1 going first, but that hasn't stopped him yet.
No, absolutely it has not. George immediately climbed out of top 16 in a similar scenario, having lost game 1 to Zach Richards' Ryu deck, but can easily
in a very similar scenario, and another final round player.
Yes.
Interesting enough. Final round all over these top cuts.
Yeah, that is, of course, another one of our storylines here. Final round versus Let's Talk UVS here in the finals. The first person to take home, a piece of cardboard essentially for these teams since their eras, right?
Since their inception, yeah. Both post MHA, post UniVersus teams. I know that Jacob Masira has been around a little bit longer than MHA, but as an official formalized team with fancy jerseys and such, I believe that was after the MHA boom. So seeing the sideboarding here, what do you think we could see come in from George's side?
On George, I think the biggest thing I have to say is like disarming glance to help stop any sort of hand advantage, as we know that there is draw power happening. I think it's just a good card. Incredible Display is the biggest one to me. Stops any response, right?
Echo, Inventor's Creation,
Yes.
Tension,
Breaker
tokens.
is the biggest form of defense Chris is playing.
Breaker 3, right?
Yeah, and because I know, and I think most people knows if you've been watching Chris play all day today, every time he goes against a Godzilla deck like this, immediately his extra 2 core mishaps are coming in for game 2 and game 3.
Yeah, canceling that City Rampage is a huge, huge deal. If you cancel the City Rampage, your fighting for controls are much more potent, and that was maybe the biggest play of the game in game 1. I talk a lot about how it's hard to improve in UniVersus, if only because a lot of times the most important play of the game happened turns before the end of the game. And the sequencing from George playing around the fighting for control, losing the Vast Hybrid on a City Rampage turn, and then only building out, I have to feel like he was expecting different responses from Chris.
Yeah.
Between games, I believe it has something to do with the way George sided.
Is it a sleeve?
No, because he pulled out of a sideboard card, right?
Oh, maybe.
We got some of these in stock. I
don't know. I'm looking over and I see Chris digging through his bag, so he's looking for something.
Yeah, it might be a sleeve. It looked like George was the one suffering from the judge call, though. So
it's for sure sleeves. Yeah, even to go grab them. So I like that. Always got to have your backups. It's the small things you don't ever think about in these tournaments.
True.
You got to always have your backup sleeves. Are you not to take away obviously from our match, but our players are fixing.
Yeah, we're figuring it out.
Are you a fresh pack of sleeves per event, or are you?
No.
Okay.
No, super no. I intentionally buy my sleeves a week early so I can muck them up.
Break them in.
Yeah, break them in, muck them up, get them. I've only played one tournament where I had brand new sleeves, and it was the only tournament where I have gotten a game loss for a irreparable game state. And it's because I went to make a control check, I believe, and my deck slid this way, and I immediately went, oops, and I just grabbed it and put it back together, and that's not the order it was necessarily in. It was just like an instinctive, like, oops, and couldn't guarantee that it was the same deck I started with. So never again. I'm a matte sleeve guy.
Absolutely.
I'm a matte. I feel like they don't stick, That's a big thing for me. I'm terrible at shuffling. I got big uncoordinated hands.
I was wondering too, because this is a separate question, and for anyone new to card games or if you've been around for a little while, the amount of money I spent on bad sleeves before I realized which ones were the good ones was a conversation I was having earlier today with somebody.
Interesting.
How many brands of sleeves? I'm not going to call any of them out or nothing, but like you bought. We
also can't plug the good ones. They're not sponsored.
These look good. Oh, these don't look good. These feel good. Oh, these are awful. Oh, these stick. Oh, these got dirty.
You know what are good? The shiny Jester sleeves from the Redemption store.
Right, but
not a shameless plug. Just genuinely great art sleeves.
My
for all the
problem
art sleeves
is that I want to protect art sleeves.
Double sleeve them.
I do.
Yeah.
But I got tiny hands. I'm not good at jumbling all of those, and also oversleeves to me have the worst problem of breaking them in because they're so slick. I've
never double sleeved. I've never felt the need.
Wow.
But I also, I don't use my Jester art sleeves that often. I only break them out for special occasions, moonlit dinners, things like that. So it's
the hot dates.
Yeah. Well, I got all my dating tips from Keenan Meadows, so
that's good.
Really up to my personal life, up to my game. So
you can tell that the production hasn't been really listening to us because I knew that he was re-sleeving his deck before he even came over here to tell us.
He made a weird motion for breaking a sleeve too. I don't think this.
No, he said re-sleeving.
Oh, it's going in. Okay,
yeah. So
I was just like, what is this? I thought he was doing like the ooh.
You want to open some packs?
Yeah, we could do that.
I mean, what are they going to do?
Do you want to
Stop
open
us?
the Bromley pack again, where he just had all
It's just
all the history's greatest monsters
Hey,
in it?
he said he was going to take some of those. He definitely here. These are our last 4 packs for today, Sam.
Yeah, where's the Sacred Guardians at? I'm taking those home.
I think we only opened the one.
Don't tell Levi. Don't tell Levi. Those are going to be me.
Uh-oh, production's coming our way. Hurry.
Oh, go. Open the bags. Open the bags.
Okay, Godzilla versus Gigan.
Open the bags. Yeah. No. Don't take the packs. Don't take the packs. Humanity fights on. I got the 13 div. I got
it all. I got it all.
Oh, finally. I haven't seen it all on any of our packs.
I got a Mecha Godzilla all.
Dude, Humanity fights on's actually sick.
Oh, dude, that's a card.
The art is super sick.
Whoa.
What else do we got? Oh, beam combo. We've opened a lot of beam combos.
Oh, look at this. We finally got an all. It took the last 2 packs.
It took the last game of the event.
Oh, and it was a Final Wars. I also got the Final Wars.
Oh, Final Wars, final pack.
Final pack, Final Wars, final match of
final
the
match.
weekend.
All right. Final round.
That is true.
Little spoiler, maybe.
I wish we had spoilers, but we're doing it live. So.
All right, I think we're good. We're getting the thumbs up. That's got to mean something good. Here we go.
Okay, all
Back
right.
to the gameplay.
Back focusing in game 2 of the finals of the World Championship for 2025. George going first once again. The new game plan. We got to win this one. That's the new game plan.
Yeah. There no more messing around. Are those the same sleeves he had before? Or did he receive the whole
it is
deck?
a new set of sleeves.
He did not have one spare sleeve, so he had to get a whole new pack. We might see a slippery deck issue.
We've talked about this. A little superstitious. I would never change my sleeves completely going into the finals.
So you gotta have extras. You gotta bring extras with you.
Absolutely.
I've always felt like I like to sleeve my sideboard. I don't always. I definitely have not always done it because it is kind of nice to be able to count it, by like unsleeved in the same box. You don't mix them together by accident. But I usually try to sleeve my sideboard, and for me that has been enough extra sleeves. Right, that's my 10 extra sleeves. Oh, military airship opening again.
Yeah, but we went for a very risky turn 1 build. That Fight for Truth was on a 4, and if we had failed it, we weren't even going to get this dumbfounded.
It would have been rough. And I think a lot of people probably would have reversed the order, right? Dumbfounded's guaranteed because it ignores progressive.
Just go for the 5.
And then try to play Fight for Truth on a 5. So, yeah, very interesting stuff here.
Another build 5 here, though, for Chris, and still hasn't even committed Nago. So, yeah, we can go for this foresight here.
Okay,
wow.
Get to respond, look at the top if you want. Okay.
Wow, and that last card in our hand is a...
Both players with airships.
Yeah.
6 build from Chris, going second, 1 card in hand. No fighting for control. Fight for Truth, getting the Blue Flame Torment. That's a huge early game threat.
Yep, extra piece of information. And like you said, got a couple of those foundations off the top. We've talked about, this card's really been successful for these Godzilla decks.
Short-lived promotion, going to make us a 7-hitter. You know what I'd love to see, Barrett? I think it's it might be the smallest percentage possible, but I would love to see a turn where we play City Rampage. We play an attack, probably Blue Flame Torment, and then we military airship the City Rampage, and we double up on that check bonus.
Oh, that is pretty clutch and interesting. And I don't
definitely not happening this turn though, because we're gonna build 4, hold 3. One of those is a Blue Flame Torment, but we're gonna need the momentum from Finally Awake to be able to access the defensive ability that Blue Flame Torment gets us. Luckily though, we have pass-through walls, which can cancel that military airship, which is so effective in this Nagoriyuki deck because it plays so many echo attacks between Inventor's Creation and Thunder Spear Barrage.
And even just airshipping a 3 difficulty move at all is just so powerful because of being able
it's guaranteed as your first attack, and then it's very easy to play it later as well.
Absolutely. But here is Inventor's Creation immediately copying that blood-sucking universe. Finding it in the discard pile pretty early on is very nice.
Yeah, and we get a little peek at Chris's hand. Koenma's task in hand makes the kind of play I was talking about a little bit weaker, but maybe one you have to do if you want to see Rampage at all.
Yeah, finally free coming in, giving that momentum to George.
Yep.
The 4 damage, of course, coming in, and then
Smashing
there's a smashing stop. Not afraid to block with our attacks here for George. Checks a 6 also on the block.
Yeah.
It's a throw, so we are going to take half.
I'm so curious what the third card in his hand is now, too, because Smash and Stomp is an excellent attack, especially against decks that aren't primed for blocking a lot, which the Nagoriyuki deck isn't bad at, but it's not exactly Rodan. Huge.
I even love seeing the commitment of the character first on passing the strategic meeting, because you're playing against a walk the dog deck.
Yes.
And of course against the character, or Naga doesn't do anything on your opponent's turn. So just using your resources effectively.
So this is where that military airship play I was talking about could actually be massive. City Rampage, because Hacker Extraordinaire is going to flip that airship. I have to believe, unless we're really, really trying to hold the Roman cancel damage reducing ability, I have to imagine Hacker's going to flip that airship.
Incredible. Gets the cancel with the Coenmus task onto the City Rampage, which means that this Blue Flame
actually on a 6.
And we checked a 3 on it, but here is, I think, where that play could come into play. The first enhance, if we use this and pick up the City Rampage, could be exactly what you talked about.
Huge. Now, we could even save it for next turn. You don't necessarily... And is Blue Flame Torment your next trick to play a card? Or is it next trick to play an attack? Okay. So, which technically might be better, depending on what attack you want to follow with and what you check.
It means you could even Godzilla +2 to your next check to have +4 to your check to do a thing. No matter how many cards you'd have to commit to pass the City Rampage, you're going to have a crazy check bonus going into the next attack.
Like, we could see City Rampage on a 6, and then +4 to 6 to a check to play like a determined advance on an 8,
Exactly.
My check +1.
Hacker Extraordinaire going off.
Yep.
Now that card still is frozen.
That's my understanding.
Yep, there it is. Perfect. Boom. You can tell this is a judge for our game over here.
Yeah, again, George has been one of the best judges. I've hired him for my own events, for my own community online events. He's always done an amazing job. Never heard any complaints. Very, very excited to see him doing well at this event.
Every event he's played in at this rate, I mean, he is absolutely showcasing why he is veteran in the rules and the play of UniVersus to be here again in a finals scenario, and not just any finals, the
grand finals.
Yeah, the highest level of finals you could ever be in for our game. Going for the block here with a 2 low. So it's on an 8, and we checked a 4. So we are going to commit 4 foundations, which is going to enable any walk the dogs that could happen. Ooh, we're making the decision. We're thinking about it. 11 damage is a lot. Do you do it? Do you tap 4 here? No, we're going to let it go. Doesn't matter what you would do. Chris said no.
Doesn't matter what I would do. I'm not him.
Still going to get the 4th committed foundation that would take the extra momentum.
This is why not blocking is fine here, because now we have the double. We have the momentum necessary to use the Roman cancel token again for the damage reducing ability, and we do see the City Rampage coming in on a 6. We did commit the 1. I believe Chris is reading what we were talking about. It's check to play and attack, not to play a card. So that bonus is going to float. Looks like we have +4 to play an attack here now.
Yep.
Which means a 5 diff can't fail. Even if we check a 3, we won't have to commit anything. But
that's determined. You were talking about on an 8. Checks a 9.
You love to see it. We're going to blitz, get a momentum, potentially ready that Master's Pride to get a bonus resource back. Still have the +2 to our checks over the turn. Now we could Godzilla for +4 though.
Yeah.
So this is a 7 mid for 10. You cannot reduce either the speed or the damage below 6.
No Master's Pride response though, as we are going.
Might have missed it. Yeah, might have.
We've gone a little.
We were fiddling with dice with the judge there, so might have just gotten a little excitable,
or just maybe doesn't need it, right? But this is one of the harder ones to block. Goes for the partial with the foresight, just lets it fail. Takes the 10
bonus review step.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Chris is knows. Hey, I can dish out 30 remaining to go on a 5, 6, 7, 8, 6,
7, 8.
Yep.
Yeah, we had +4 to that check. Blue Flame Torment potentially going to give us some more bonuses to our check. And I think at this point, if you're Chris, you really got to try to pass these Blue Flame Torment checks. You got to hope you check well, and you're going to have to commit foundations. And that's a 4. That's probably not good enough. but he's going to deny the +1 to the check and the bonus damage, and I think that's correct.
The 3, that one has to
That
pass.
one's going to go through.
So this one's going to be for 10 damage. This is the one you have to use that Roman Cancel ability on to now. But
only +3 to the check, maybe 5 with Godzilla. Not spending the Godzilla momentum. This might be the last attack, which would be a little strange. However,
if we didn't even use Godzilla here, I think we just have enough, or this is the last attack. There it is on a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He checks a 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, just taps the 2, and that is game 2 explosively from George. We are going to a game 3.
I think he was saving the momentum to use Blue Flame Torment, potentially on the Walk the Dog, which absolutely checkmate scenario for George. Winning game 2, bouncing back, forcing a game 3. But this is it, Barrett Bryant. This is the last game of UniVersus for the 2025 organized play cycle. This game is going to decide our next world champion.
I'm so excited for both of these players.
Yeah, both of these players, it's going to be their first time ever, you know.
Absolutely.
As much as I love Kevin Broberg, spread the love. He's been to the dance before.
Different. He's a goat.
He is the goat of UniVersus.
Whereas, you know, like you say, there's just something so. We did that video earlier, and I was out there with everyone, and we were holding up our champ cards, and you know, I was very blessed.
Yeah, you were involved in that.
To be surrounded with so many personalities and people, and again, like, you know, I'm standing there, and people like Sean O'Brien are out there. You know, Phil Birch holding up 4 cards. You know, and you know, here I am with my 1 character card, and a lot
more of those guys had more cards than I realized. I saw like Tim Keefe had 2 hands.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's, some of them only, some of them had an asset, some of them had characters and assets, some of them, had multiple pieces, and it's just, to be included. You said the Parthenon, right? Or what did you say? The
Pantheon.
The Pantheon, same thing. Yeah, the Pantheon.
The Parthenon's a little different.
Yeah, you're right. The Pantheon of
UniVersus
high caliber players that make it to this exact stage that George and Chris are playing on, and at the end of this, you can only be excited and happy for both of them, regardless of what the outcome would be. But the winner will be able to go home and start getting in the tank, figuring out how they want to solidify themselves in history of UniVersus. And speaking of history, Chris building 5 on game 3 of the finals, going first.
Yeah, 4 guaranteed cards, and then getting the last one-man Inferno, Finally Awake, and Short-Lived Promotion, both powerful cards. Another short-lived, but we can commit Godzilla. It's not doing too much.
On a 4.
We might regret not having the Finally Awake plus momentum to block something on turn 2, because this Nagoriyuki deck can get ramped up very quickly. However, I do understand why we're playing it that way.
Chris Minor has the option to set the pace here. I think Chris has actually played the first attack of every game because of the Vast Hybrid denial of game 1. But here is Inventor's Creation on a 4, checks a 3, but hey, that 3 was a blood-sucking universe.
Yeah, definitely one of the best choices here for Inventor's Creation. Finally Awake, going to give us a momentum on the rival's turn. We're going to flip what are you fighting for, or what do you fight for to draw a card.
Extra cards in hand, they help out, because that George is going to be essentially an 8-hander next turn with the double short-lived promotion, so you kind of got to match that pace defensively, not just offensively.
And I think if you're Chris here, I think one of the mistakes you could make actually is building 2 foundations, because that would allow George to be an 8-hander and then wipe the board.
That is true. I mean, there's one of them already, but we could continue to play, checking pretty poorly on these foundations. That one's going to pass. Build 3. Like you said, going down to 8 foundations in the stage. George just does have that available option.
Yeah, there's 10 in play. I would not be that surprised to see George go for it. I mean, short-lived promotion is the combo, right? It is like that sort of way that you get around the discard 4 liability. I just don't know if it's the right play, but board wipe, I build 4 feels pretty good.
I think it's super dependent a lot of the times. I don't have a Godzilla. I mean, we're pressing it, so I mean there it is.
I mean,
But-
all my foundations are blank. All his foundations
Yeah.
are pretty much good. So
Yeah, the question is, do we have any of those fierce wings in Chris's hand?
that would be a huge factor here. I talked about it before. He had double fierce wings. Yeah, Passer Walls getting discards a little interesting here, only because we know about the breaker threes and military airship being, present in the decks. Another short-lived promotion feels good. Fight for Truth. Oh my goodness, another card draw ability. And we saw this before where George didn't necessarily build everything. Now, one thing he has to watch out for is Thunder Spear Barrage is 20 damage if you go handless.
Checks.
So luckily we have the
4.
Fearsome transformation to potentially draw a card on defense. But if it's a low block, we could just be eating 20 to the face.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, builds the full 4 off, and there's also that Fight for Truth as well as the short-lived promotion. So George has a huge turn that could be coming next for him.
We see a 3 difficulty move in hand. It's at the ready. That's a tension move. It could give us a Roman cancel token, but we decide to go for the Imprisoned, and we check a 3 on it. So Nagoriyuki, kind of that, extra resource, not needing to rely on him. It's not going to feel too bad. And that means we're potentially going to get to commit that short-lived promotion or a Fearsome transformation to deny a little extra hand size for George.
Yeah, I think either of the options are good, but
at the end of Chris's turn before Imprisoned builds, we're going to activate the Fight for Truth, get that determined advance. Love that attack. Can't believe more people don't play it. That thing's absolutely busted.
The question is, do we press the Imprisoned, committing a third of our foundations here?
It's got to be short-lived, right? Yeah. These are all things that draw a card, and short-lived draws is the best.
Passes back to George.
3 ready foundations. So determined could be a little risky. Here we see the Horrifying. If we discard a foundation, we'll have to commit one of our 2 left, leaving Nagoriyuki pretty vulnerable, but he's at full health.
There it is. We're going to both pitch.
Pitches the at the ray, has no block.
Yeah.
Makes perfect. I was going to comment on how risky it was to hold that and not get the tension, the Roman cancel token, but playing into the Horrifying works out. And here we see City Rampage. George looking really good here, partner.
Oh, checks an 8.
Checks the 8 on the 7. Goes for the blitz, gets the momentum. We have another card draw available to us. We're going to press that button immediately. 7 mid for 10. We can EX this to push even a +0 block or a 6 check and a 1 out of contention, although that's not what I would do. I would definitely just go for the check bonus here.
Yeah, extra check bonus here tells me that it's probably another high difficulty move. Throwing some blocks away.
Extra review. We were never blocking that one. 10 to the dome, down to 22. Walk the dog.
7, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Taps the 2 for 9. Yeah, it's hard to get past these when your opponent doesn't have any foundations.
Harder than you want it to be, but another stun 1 and +2 to the check from Godzilla means another Walk the Dog would not be that hard to play. And maybe most importantly, another card draw.
This one's for 10. Second one would be for 10. That isn't lethal. We need another move.
Really quick on the meta level, check out the players shuffling their hands, man. The level of anxiety you got to be in. You got to be at in the grand finals. Yeah. Kibler, eat your heart out.
Yeah, man.
These guys put Brian Kibler to shame. Down to 12. No response, no rebuttal from Nagoriyuki. Is
5,
this
7, 8.
the moment, Barrett Bryant? Is this the final string of attacks? We're out of momentum for Godzilla, but we're also out of foundations on the side of Nagoriyuki. Another Walk the Dog would be simply on an 8 with +2 to the check. There it is, 7, 8. Are we going to see a handshake?
Any sort of answer. It'd have to be something like a guy's
You don't have to commit Godzilla there, right?
A 4 or 5.
I think that's
it's
what
not on a
he's
4.
figuring
It's on a 5, right? We only have
he only has 3 foundations.
6, 7,
we didn't
8,
even
9.
build enough.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's tapped completely out.
What can he do?
There's nothing
What
to
is
do.
in the deck list? I mean, Genkai's is on symbol, but it's...
We're waiting.
Everyone's clearing. Okay.
We're just counting it all. Game 3 and the match to George Rangel, your world champion.
George Rangel enters the pantheon of UniVersus and is your 2025 world champion. From judge table and judge promos to grand champion. I couldn't think of a better player.
Absolutely, man. From finals at Atlanta, getting second place, plays in another
The hero's
tournament.
journey. He had to be denied before he could achieve victory.
Chris Minor there, your second place finish, impeccable performance from him as well.
I mean, what can you do against that Godzilla, man?
Yeah,
the only thing he could have done is build one foundation instead of two. And I think if he keeps the board state on his side, maybe things go his way. But hindsight's 2020. The time is not for critique. The time is for celebration for our newest world champion.
You can see it overwhelmed with the emotions. It's
people lining up to congratulate him.
We'll
Amazing
have to wait
stuff.
our turn, of course. Levi over there already shook his hand. Congratulations for him. Making it all the way.
What an absolute ride, my man. What an absolute ride.
King of the monsters, but today, George is the king of UniVersus.
Godzilla Prime. The man who slayed every other Godzilla in grand finals. Just not enough. He's not like the other girls. He's not like the other Godzillas.
Congratulations.
Now the emotion kicking in.
Very, very well deserved, man. Incredible journey, like you said.
You love to see it.
I do. It's like
Tony Hevia, one of our
head
most
judge,
common head judges,
co-worker of George, in multiple events.
Absolutely a cohort.
Yeah, you no matter who wins, you can't for George. You have nothing but happiness for everyone involved, because it is, again, the moment of where you realize I am a part of this game for the rest of eternity, right? George will be your next champion card.
I can't wait to see what he comes up with.
I don't even think George knows what he's going to come up with.
I don't know if he saw about it, but
I'll pick his brain a little bit about it, but
we also see here behind the scenes the final round guys collecting their dude Chris, congratulating him on an absolutely amazing run. I know from experience, second place doesn't feel good. I know from experience in PTCs, online events, even retro events, second place doesn't feel great. But I hope Chris can look back at this as a happy memory, as a step in the journey on the road to hopefully bigger and better things. But we have a special presentation, I believe. I don't know how long it's going to take, Levi.
We haven't got the thumbs up yet.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to filibuster here for a little bit. But let's go back. Let's go back, right? Let's talk about Godzilla, right? Because and also at the end of the story, George. Okay, never mind. We're going to a break. Don't go anywhere though, because
we are going to Levi.
We do have presentation for George, your new world champion, and we are going to have him over here for an interview as well. So don't go anywhere. Yes, congratulations in chat for George Rangel, your new world champion. But don't go anywhere. We will be back with the award
championship presentation.
That's right.
I see you watching me when we're with our friends. It's definitely something in the air. So let's take it from there. 'Cause I know how you want it. Afraid to let it show. And I know you need it. Why don't we let it grow, grow, grow? I see you, I see you, I see stronger for every day. We just can't give it away. I see you watching me with our friends. I see you, I see you, I see you. Definitely something in the air. Definitely something in the air. I think it's time we start tipping on our toes. Why don't we let it grow,
Undivided attention, please. Pretty please. Our 2025 World Championship has finally come to a close. 3 days ago, 114 fighters entered this room on day one. 16 of them proceeded forward, joined by another group of some of our best players around the globe for an epic 52-person day two tournament. But once all that dust settled, it was time for 16 fighters to enter the ring. 16 of UniVersus's best. Dare I say 16 of UniVersus's best of the best fighters prepared to throw down for the ultimate prize in gaming. The ability to immortalize themselves in UniVersus history forever. Finally, after so many grueling rounds of tournament play, we have our answer to that question. Who is the greatest UniVersus fighter of 2025's organized play series? This finals was unpredictable. It was unbelievable. It was a shocking series of twists and turns with so many unexpected elements that even our casters could hardly keep up at times. But the dust has settled, and 2 fighters stand alone at the tippity top of the UniVersus mountain this year. Coming in second place, your finalist for the 2025 UniVersus World Championship, slicing and dicing his foes apart one by one, baring his teeth, and dragging them all into his very own blood-sucking universe, is Chris Miner with Final Round.
Thank you.
Go ahead and hold it open. All right, 3, 2, 1.
Chris, you had an absolutely breathtaking performance today with a character that I don't know that many people had on their radar. Maybe some, but clearly not quite enough. What do you have to say about this tournament performance, and how are you feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling really, really good. I did also not expect to.
A little closer.
I also did not expect to do so well. Oh. But I mean, I played really well, and the team did a lot of play testing on the deck, so I think that we did really, really good.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you for an absolutely amazing tournament run, and I cannot wait to see what your future UniVersus career holds.
Thank you very much.
But guys, the champion of it all is the one who will now join us on this grand stage. Oh yes. No matter how many foes try and contest them, the king of the monsters and the king of UniVersus cannot be satiated. Stomping, crashing, and most importantly, rampaging his way through the city of Dallas and all of UniVersus. It is your 2025 World Champion, George Rangel with Let's Talk UVS. George, what you have done today will go down in UniVersus history forever. And I just have one burning question for you. One absolutely searing interrogative that I know that every single person in this room, and probably you, have on your mind right now. We all want to know, aren't you glad you didn't judge this event?
Yes.
Jokes aside, my friend, I have a real question for you now. And what the heck is George Rangel 1 Dot gonna do?
Kill people very fast.
That's what I'm talking about. That's UniVersus right there. Amazing performances, cutthroat tournament play, and an epic victory on an incredibly deserving player. George, I know that you've got a slew of fans, between judges, players, and teams alike, so I'm going to give the floor to you right now to make all the shout-outs that you'd like.
Thank you, everyone. I love all of you UniVersus players. I wish I get to know you more, and let's have another wonderful year of UniVersus.
Very, very, very well said, George. Everybody, let's give it up one more time for your world's warrior, George Rangel! Thank you so much, George. Congratulations one more time, and have a safe trip home, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you, George. Really, man. Congratulations, buddy. And that UniVersus is
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Barrett Bryant, and I am joined with your new world champion of the 2025 UniVersus season, George Rangel.
Yep.
I know I don't say it too well, but George, how does it feel? I know you've had a couple minutes since you won it. We saw the overwhelming amount of emotion that came through when you won, because sitting in that chair right in that exact moment, right as it happens, when you let it soak in, how does it feel?
Feels really good.
Yeah.
She was really the best. I came through day one. I had to climb out, and I'm here. I got there. I ever since day two, I didn't drop a single match.
Yeah.
I went
We watched.
501, and I didn't lose any matches.
First place out of Swiss, had to climb your way through the day one tournament. Of course, we talk about the day one buff. Other previous world champions having to do that, such as Nick Reagan. In this room, you sit up top that throne just like people like him. because you get those extra rounds in. You get that confidence in your deck and in your playability. And let's talk about it. I mean, we know how good you are at the game. Normally, you're wearing the jersey and you're a judge.
Yeah.
Everyone knows you in the community. Everyone respects you and how much you know about the game and how much you love it. And when you do decide to sit down in Atlanta, you still make it to that grand finals chair. Of course, bridesmaid in Atlanta by razor thin margins.
This is true, yeah.
But you ran it completely back, man. The full story.
I was scared, truthfully. I lost game 1, and I was like, oh, I guess I'm second place again. It's over.
We didn't doubt it, though, because in top 16 against Zach Richards,
I also did the
you
same thing.
also lost game 1 going first.
Yep.
So we get it. We've all been there. But if there's anyone that could do it, we knew that you could, and you did. All the way down to that game 3 with an incredible board wipe from the Godzilla once per game, building the 4 foundations from the double plus of the hand size. When it was happening, did you believe it? You didn't seem as like, I was talking about the winning like shakes, but you weren't there. You weren't doing that. Did you just know that it was happening, or?
So when he built to get to 10.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to go to 9.
Yeah.
And then he hit 10, and I was like, okay, I have to draw foundations, and I have to draw really good ones, because then he can still kind of kill me on checking the 3 and then echo 3 and then 3 again.
Yeah.
But he built to 10, so I got to blow up, and I got to try again the next turn. I was counting the attacks in my deck and like the percentage of what I can get, how many I can draw. And I drew some pretty good ones, to be fair. So that was really good.
Absolutely.
But it was pretty likely that I was going to hit like 3-ish attack turn, or at least 3 attacks in the next hand.
And the fight for truth, right? Well, you're grabbing
Fight for truth. I
yeah.
I had to guarantee at least one, so I could just review it and don't matter anymore.
And we've been talking about the card all weekend, because you're not the only Godzilla deck that was playing it, but you were one playing 2 copies of it. Some of them were playing 1, etc. But it's not even just about it finding an attack off the top or a city rampage or something, but like when you look and you go, oh, those were foundations I was going to draw. I don't want those. And,
just get rid of it.
Absolutely. So the deck is impeccable. It's not the first time we've seen you play an incredibly well-optimized deck. And the reality is, I want to ask you, why Godzilla? Because when I was coming into this event, as far as I'm aware, I thought a lot of people were very turned off at wanting to play Godzilla. But most represented character in day 1 of the event, and most represented character for day 2 and day 3. So why Godzilla out of any other sort of like aggro style deck that we know that you kind of play these, killing people, killing fast, like you said, your champ card's going to eventually do. Why Godzilla?
So the idea of playing Godzilla instead of like Mikasa 4 or anything else, like I don't like playing control. So Mikasa 4 was a good pick. I truthfully think that was a really good pick, no matter like it wasn't top cuts, right? One of them made it. But sometimes you draw 5 and find nothing.
Yep.
And then you draw like 8 more and find nothing again. There's so many times where you check and it's an attack, and then you blow up, draw 2, and there's like foundations.
I want to give you your moment. It's your day. This will forever be the moment that you have solidified yourself in UniVersus history. So I want to give you a moment to shout out anybody that you want to do, or talk about anyone that helped you get here, the journey of coming to this event, making the decision, not judging it. Here you are playing in the entirety of it. But how did you get from that point all the way to where you are right now?
So I started in MHA, and I was a really bad player. It just happens. You start off pretty bad sometimes. I worked my way up. I practiced a lot. I had my friend Salvador Serban, who won the Pasadena regional a couple years ago. We were our own play testers essentially for each other, and he's a really good player. So he rubbed off on me a bit, since I believe he's like one of the best players. Then I decided to judge, since at Nationals last year, I got cooked because I checked like 8 2s or something.
Ugh.
It was bad, but it's okay. I decided to start judging, and as I judged, I learned how the players react, how they move, their decisions. And then I decided if I wanted to go for it, I'm going to have to sit down, crack it down, do the math, learn everything, all the matchups, and understand what to do.
And you showed it off perfectly.
I did. I had there was many games where it came down to should I go for it or should I not? And building like 2 or 3 in passing in like Swiss and everywhere. So I had to count a lot today, which is the likelihood of me checking like 3 5s or whatever. And then if I draw this now, do I draw foundation or an attack? If I horrifying, what's the likelihood of drawing an attack or foundation? A lot of it came down to just me vibing it most of the time. But when I had to, and the deck was looking a little small, I would count as much as I can.
Our game's hard.
It's very hard.
And only the best players can win the entire thing. And you are one of those players, George, and you will forever be. So we want to show off some of the prizing here on camera for you. So, George, this is your world champion playmat, 1 of 1. No one will ever take this away from you. And I got to ask you, out of these chromes and these chem etches, as I'm kind of going to go through them, which one is your favorite? This is the Ryu World Warrior chem etch. I'm going to have Levi help me out a little bit as behind the camera. Which one's your favorite? Because these are yours.
It's Ryu.
Ryu, right?
Ryu looks so good.
Now, if only Godzilla came out this year, right? Or this
It was last year, man. I missed.
Yeah. But you use the character to get your stage to victory. Yeah, there's the Jester Lavore. I mean, this is the most sought after character from Critical Role. Just like a lot of people's favorite. The voice actress, of course, as well. Leonardo. This is my favorite turtle, and also my favorite character effect out of all of them. Man, I'm very jealous of this one, actually. He's just one of my favorite characters to play. There it is, Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear. Similar play style of how Godzilla plays.
Yeah, he gets to do a lot to his checks and call it a day.
And then this one, I think, obviously, Attack on Titan, as we basically cap it off this year from the set 3, Apocalypse, the Eren Yeager right here. So, I mean, you're the only one that will ever own these. As well as obviously all the other stuff that you've won. You're going to open up some boxes. You're going to have a bunch of extras. All the other play mats he's gained. We're going to hand you a bunch of stuff here. George, before we say bye to everybody across the globe here, cheering you on in the chat, they're going to be able to watch this VOD, obviously, as long as they want. But any last shout-outs for anybody that you want to thank for being here and getting to where you were?
I want to shout out the Let's Talk UVS team. I want to shout out every other team in the game for doing their best, their hardest, for being good sports, for being real people and having genuine connections. I want to shout out my locals, Tommy, my goat. I want to shout out my parents, my mom, my dad, my sisters. I love them all so much. Without them, I wouldn't even be here.
We wouldn't. And I wouldn't be here with you. And that's a gift on its own, being able to sit next to a piece of UniVersus history. So, George, congratulations, man. Thank you so much for everything you do for the community, what you've done for the game in these past few years, and even today, putting on an amazing performance for not just me, but for everybody at home. UniVersus, that's it. 2025 is over officially, and it's time to begin the journey for 2026. And guess who's going to be there right with us? That's right, it's George. You already have your invite for Worlds next year at the 2026 UCS. But that's going to be it for us here. Everybody, thank you so much for watching Round 3, for running our tournament organization, our wonderful judges, our vendors, and UVS Games. Thanks so much for an incredible 2025. But we'll see you in Chicago for the first regional for 2026. Thanks so much.
Players interested in retro.
Great job. Thanks so much.